Is it okay?
It's gorgeous.
The Chateau des Anges was built in the year 1388 for the Duke Henri de Magon.
I wonder if we're going to look this good in 600 years.
It's awfully big for one man, don't you think?
2, mademoiselle, and a few dozen servants. You see, he lived here with his only son, Edouard de Bourgogne, who unfortunately died at the very early age of 24.
Aha, so that would account for the ghosts.
Oh, right, the ghosts, the ones that linger on in the halls and so on and so on.
You see, like all legends, this one has been elaborated upon throughout the years for the sake of the tourists who seem to like this sort of thing.
Do we like this sort of thing?
No.
You feel chilled, madame?
Well, actually, I do just a little bit, but I think it's probably just this part of the room.
Ah, c'est une cold spot. It never goes away. It's part of the old story.
What is the old story?
Are we going to hear things that go bump in the night, Philippe?
Well, according to the legend, Anne de Bretagne, the daughter of the cellar master, fell desperately in love with the young Duke, Edouard, and they would meet night after night down in the wine cellar. And I dare say that they weren't there to discuss the vintages, monsieur.
Well, those rascals.
Oh, come on. I like this so far.
Well, they were planning to run off together. At that moment, the old Duke arranged for the marriage of his son.
Oh, it figures.
Well, Anne was so upset at the announcement, she wanted to punish Edouard. So she pretended to take poison. And she made sure that the Duke knew about it.
Well, that just goes to show you, furniture may have changed, but women haven't.
We, unfortunately, Edouard began grieving immediately. And so he threw himself off the parapet of the chateau, drowned in the moat. Anne was so stricken by this that she took the poison after all.
I wonder if Shakespeare copped Romeo and Juliet from this story.
Everybody steals from the French. They do it all the time. But the story continues to this very day. Every night, at the appointed hour, the ghost of Anne passes through the corridor here, on her way to the tryst down in the wine cellar. And the ghost of Edward has been observed on the parapet tower. Night after night, for centuries, they must act out this terrible tragedy. You will need fresh towels.
That's hot stuff. I can see what the tourists eat, that kind of thing.
Oh, I think it's tragic and romantic. I think we ought to be nice to Anne and Edward while we're here.
I will have the towels brought to you, and I wish you a very nice stay.
Thank you.
Listen, Philippe, before you leave, if I wanted to make a phone call, do I just dial to...
Madame, I'm very sorry, but because of the electrical storm, the phones are not working. Perhaps tomorrow, good night.
Au revoir. Merci beaucoup. Thank you very much. So, what do you think?
Oh, I think it's wonderful and magnificent. And so are you. I think there was a square inch of that chapel that wasn't gold leaf.
Yeah, well, it smelled like mildew.
Oh, what that was the fragrance of history.
Oh, is that what it was?
Oh, it's so grand. I don't know how you're paying for all of this.
That's kind of a rude question.
I'll cut my tongue out in the morning.
I do have a little bit in my piggy bank from my James Bond days. I'm not totally... So, you like this. You're impressed, right?
I'm stupefied.
No, you're not. You've been to lots of places like this. You used to live in France.
Well, not in a castle. I mean, I love it. And I love you.
I believe you.
And why do you look so sad?
Because I suddenly can see just how important this is to you. I mean, you've been going out of your way to make me realize so that...
I just want you to know how much I appreciate what you're doing.
I know. Because you don't think this is the kind of thing I do. And it's not. Look, don't get me wrong. I like this joint. We wouldn't be here if I didn't, but it's just... This is easy. This just costs money, you know? I mean, sometimes it's the hardest thing in the world for me to get away from the damn station house in time to get home and meet you for dinner, you know? I mean, to me, that counts a little more. You understand what I'm saying? Breaking a silence after we've argued, that's hard for me, but I do it. Or working on your car on my day off. I just think that I do a lot of little things to prove to you how much I love you, things that are more important than something like this, and you don't seem to notice.
It's not that I don't notice. I do.
Well, then why is it that it's not as important to you as me running my motorcycle into a retaining wall? I mean, to me, that's a prime example of stupid, nothing else.
I guess maybe I just want you to get as crazy as I do sometimes.
That's not me, darling. I don't do that anymore, you know? And it's ironic, too, because you were the one who made me respect myself enough not to want to go crazy when something goes wrong.
Look, Cruz, you're asking me to read your mind sometimes and then not read it the next. You think I should know how you feel about ordinary day-to-day things. What happens when Victoria is hanging all over you, or I know that you've been with her, or I say something and you start defending her? Am I supposed to take that as signs of something, too?
You know, none of this gave us trouble, did it, before Tori?
No.
Well, you know, I think we better get real honest with ourselves about what gives her that kind of power over us. In fact, we're not leaving here until that's settled.
You know what this place reminds me of? Reminds me of home, of the atrium. Like how I used to look at it when I was a kid. All big and ornate. Cold.
I didn't know you thought of your home that way.
Neither did I. I guess I'm thinking of the time that Mama was gone. Oh, we thought that she was dead, but Daddy never said anything. He just said that she was gone forever and that we would never see her again. You know, I thought that she had some kind of horrible disease. And that's why they sent her away, is because we couldn't see her anymore. I also thought that I would get the same disease and Daddy would send me away. I remember I used to pass his room on the way to mine. And I would hear him crying. It was so frightening because I depended on him so much. He was like Hercules to me. He was perfect. And he was brave and strong. And when he was crying, it meant that he was as alone and as frightened as I was. And I used to run away from his room as fast as I could.
I guess I was lucky, you know. My parents had the perfect marriage, which I figured meant that they only wanted to kill each other one day in 5.
What I'm saying about you and me is that I always feel like we're on red alert, like something's cropping up.
Like what?
I just don't want to take anything for granted.
Well, you know, I wish you would sometimes. I mean, you treat our relationship... If it was a person, it'd be an invalid. You're always checking its pulse or taking its temperature. It's like you want to give it shots all the time to speed up its heartbeat. Do you know what I mean?
What I'm trying to say to you is that I think I realize that no matter how much you promise me or you reassure me, I'm afraid that I'm going to be sent away.
No, never.
Well, like how it happened. Daddy sent me away.
No, but it was nothing
For
that you did.
5 years. To Europe. As far away as he could send me.
Eden, your daddy loves you.
Don't you see what I'm saying? It was like her thought. Like a horrible disease I had imagined Mama had.
Children don't understand.
Well, neither do grown-ups. I test. I create impossible situations for you, just to see what will happen. What I know will happen.
Eden, I am never going to send you away.
But do you see why I get furious with me and you when things don't go right? You have let me hope that we can be happy.
It's funny, you know, I play the flip side of that coin. And when things get weird, I just figure, well, you know, there's Eden. All the rest of this is going to pass.
I will try to change.
Yeah, you really just got to accept the facts. I'm right, you're wrong. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. This is good, though, baby. This is what we got to do here, you know? I mean, we're not going to iron everything out overnight. Hey.
You know, you are right, but you shouldn't let it get to your head.
About what?
Oh, then I treat things all kind of crazy, and then I take problems like they're the end of the world. I mean, coming to Monte Carlo was a milestone in neuroses, even for me.
No, I don't know. I think you've done worse. You know, what you did to the car made me a whole lot more nervous.
Oh, don't remind me. It was a Ferrari.
Tell me about it. Actually, I think all things considered, that taking off somewhere wasn't such a bad idea. Of course, I wish you'd let me know first, but it did snap me out of my fog. I mean, I was running around saying everything's fine, don't get upset. Who's the lunatic in that picture?
Well, I would rather you have done that than gone the other way, said everything's not fine, time to panic.
Baby, you got me to see the need and to take it seriously. And that's all you really wanted, isn't it? To happily ever after. We gotta believe it's out there.
Hey.
What?
Hey, I love you. And I want to thank you for bringing me here.
It's nice, huh?
I feel very calm.
Me too.
You know, except for a minute ago, I thought I saw Ann, what's her name, passing around in the hallway.
Really? Was she cute? Maybe we
With
should...
Philippe with the towel.
Oh, doesn't the lady have an active imagination?
Maybe you have an active imagination.
I think I do.
What would you do if I was dead?
If you were dead, darling, I would hurl myself off the parapet
Oh,
into the
help
moat.
me.
What happened to that knot? Me and the Duke Jr., see, we're like... Get your hands off the reed. We were like soulmates.
Oh, like totally soulmates?
Totally awesome soulmates, like tubular mates.
Well, I would take poison if I hadn't done it already.
Well, I'm glad we've settled that contingency.
And I would haunt the Orient Express, and I'd have a cold spot by the maitre d' stand.
You already have one.
And at the beach, and at your house, and at your office.
Nellie, whoa, Santa Barbara's a big town.
Yeah, well, if I had lost you, I'd have a lot of places to haunt. I would hire a ghost limo so I could cover a lot of ground.
Baby, you can cover all the ground you want. Just don't forget to haunt my pillow. Okay?
Martin.
Oh, very good. You remember my name. That's a start. Yeah, but the last time I talked to you, you said you were home.
Yes, I rent a place here. I call it home. That's where I called you from.
What is that? Home is home. L.A. is home.
As I recall, that was seriously in question. Besides, the run of the play was extended. What was I supposed to do, walk out?
No, of course not. How long was it extended?
Check the theater marquee.
No, I mean, is it still running now?
As a matter of fact, tonight was our last night. We had a party here. If you don't believe me, ask one of the waiters.
Then why are you being so hostile to me?
Boy, am I? Martin, I'm sitting here. For all I know, you are still in Monte Carlo. You walk in here out of the blue and you pick a fight.
I didn't pick a fight with you. I asked you how you were and what you were doing. Does it register with you at all? Does it register with you that I gave up a very important tournament and came here because you are important to me?
Why am I so important to you? I can take care of myself.
Because I thought you were home. I find out you're not. I'm entitled to know why.
We have not seen each other for 2 months. And at that time, it was still unclear as to whether or not we would ever be together again.
Really?
At home or anywhere else. Yes, really.
Oh, well, it wasn't unclear to me. Why, you seen other people?
We're talking about us. What's that to do with
No, don't
anything?
evade the question. Are you seeing other guys?
Well, not that you're entitled to know, but no, I am not. And if you are seeing other women, terrific, fine, it's your business, but I don't want to hear about it. The understanding was that we would both be free, and that at some later date we would sit down and we would talk when our heads were both clearer, which apparently they are not.
I can even look at another one.
Well, very nice of you to say, but I think you should.
I got a suite here in the hotel. We're going to go up there. We're going to talk there.
No, no.
Why, you mean?
Who?
You know, that's twice. Not that I'm counting or anything, but it's very hard not to. That's twice that you have lied. You're Santa Barbara man, honey. I know all about him. The one you can't forget.
Wait a minute. What are you talking about? Who told you what?
I have eyes, I have ears. Martin, I think we should take some time, you know, and kind of sort things out. What, for this?
Martin, there's nothing to sort out. And here's as good a place as any to tell you, I'm not coming back to you.
No, Tori, wait a minute here.
I'm sorry. But if I had any doubts, seeing you again erased them all. Excuse me.
Cruz? Alors, c'est tout repairs ici. Bon. I wasn't sure if you're working yet. Yes, I'd like to place a call to Monsieur Martin Ellis at Hotel de Paris. Bien, je t'aime.
Babe, what's wrong? You're cold as ice.
I thought the phone, it was like ice.
You thought what? You're not thinking about Philippe and his ghost story still, are you?
Well, I was standing there and I thought I saw some. I thought I did, and then don't touch that.
Why not? Hello? Who is this?